Hope you all are doing well. This is the Land of Enlightenment podcast, and I am your host, Oscar Duran. This episode of Land of Enlightenment is brought to you by Zendo. Zendo is a local coffee shop here in Albuquerque. You can check them out at zendocoffee.com. You can buy whole beans for order via email. You do have to have a grinder for grinding them up yourselves, or if you just want to support a local business, make sure to go to zendocoffee.com, buy some swag as well. You will get a ton of really great quality coffee, as well as awesome and really, really sweet merch. This episode is also brought to you by Lavender and Lee. Lavender and Lee is a custom jewelry shop. You can find them on Etsy, etsy.com/shop/lavender, A-N-D, Lee, Lee. So check them out. I think you can get a promo discount of 10% if you type in podcast 10 at the end of or when you're checking out. I hope you all enjoy and let me know what you think. Remember that I love you and that there's absolutely nothing that you can do about it. Bye. All right. Welcome to the podcast. Thank you so much for coming on.
Hey, thank you for having a podcast.
This is my first, thank you again. This is my first Zoom recording. You're actually not even in Albuquerque. You're elsewhere. So do you want to introduce yourself and then tell us a little bit about who you are?
Sure. My name is Katie Neely, and I just moved to Portland, Oregon 2 weeks ago. I was living in Seattle for the last about 2 years, but before that, I lived in Las Cruces, New Mexico, and then before that, I lived in Albuquerque.
Okay, and are you from Albuquerque then?
Mm-hmm. I'm from Albuquerque, and then I went to college in Las Cruces.
Okay, I'm sorry about that.
Yeah. Oh, me too. I'm sorry.
No, I mean it's fine. What'd you study in Las Cruces?
So I studied social work for a while, and then I changed my major to art because I really wanted to be an art teacher. So yeah, that's what I did.
Okay, and are you an art teacher?
So I was in Las Cruces for a little bit. While I was in school, I was an art teacher, and then I continued being an art teacher for a while, and then I decided to move to Seattle. And when I moved to Seattle, I kind of got, it was like a little bit harder to get into the schools there. So I became a nanny instead.
That's a common thing out there, I hear.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Everyone is a nanny. And so, yeah, but now since I moved, I actually moved at probably the worst time to move because there's a hiring freeze on everything I'm qualified to do. Like, I worked at a coffee shop for a long time in Las Cruces for like 8 years. And so anyway, here Portland is like a very big coffee scene as well, but everything's closed.
Yeah.
So what can you do?
I mean, it's not like you could have predicted a pandemic, right?
Yeah. Well, usually my radar's really good with that stuff. Just kidding. It's not.
I mean, no.
But,
I mean, is it though? Like, I mean,
no, I'm not. No.
Okay, maybe I'm talking to a medium and I don't know it. Can you?
I used to watch a lot of those shows, like Long Island Medium.
The one with the hair, like the Karen haircut.
Yeah. She was from New Jersey. Yeah. No, she's from Long Island, not New Jersey, but she went to New Jersey a lot for her.
That makes sense. They're right next to each other.
Yeah, exactly.
That's pretty funny. So, I think a big reason why I initially wanted to reach out was because I see that you do a couple of different things. I think you are an artist. Obviously, you're an art teacher, or you wanted to be, or want to be still. And you're also a musician. Is that correct?
Yes.
Cool. So, Portland's, I mean, as a city, I travel to often. I have family there. So it's a really cool place. There's a really awesome scene. What kind of stuff do you do there? Or were you doing even in Seattle?
Well, I didn't play much music in Seattle. I wish I had more, but my job kind of like took over, not necessarily took over my life, but I worked a lot. And so I didn't play as much music as I wanted to. So any downtime I had, I was usually drawing.
Okay.
But I did play I played with some people and I loved it. I think when I moved to Portland 2 weeks ago, my focus here is like I really want to play music again, and I still want to draw, but like I just want to
Mm-hmm.
keep I want it to be more of like a 50-50 thing where I'm playing music just as much as I'm drawing.
Okay. Okay. And
So,
then
mm-hmm.
where, as far as the drawing goes, what
Mm-hmm.
you do versus something very unique, right?
Well, I don't know. It's I draw, yeah, so I draw with my non-dominant hand, my left hand.
Mm-hmm.
Um just I think well, it started because I was so bored drawing with my right hand.
Okay.
And since I was teaching art, I was like, how can I relearn? How can I like talk to
Mm-hmm.
someone that's like just learning how to draw, like even if they're like in high school, if they've never drawn anything before. And
Sure.
so I was like, well, I'll relearn myself. And so I started drawing with my left hand, and now I like that's the only way I want to draw.
I mean, they're great drawings.
Thank you.
I really, I really
Thanks.
enjoy them. And you sell them, correct?
I do, yeah. Yeah, I do.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fun. Some people are probably like, I don't want to buy that. I will never buy that. But you
I
know.
mean, honestly, I think it's a very neat kind of idea. I didn't
Well,
know there was that
thanks.
story behind it. That makes a lot of sense. I mean, because you're having to reteach things. So I think a lot of the time, as a former teacher myself, you
Yeah.
begin to understand a concept a lot better and really kind of reducing it or simplifying it by relearning it yourself, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And things
Yeah.
like that.
Hmm.
And that's a really interesting way to do things. That's awesome. That's really cool.
Well, thank you.
And where did the music come in? I mean, have you always been a musician?
Yeah, I've always played music. My dad was really musical. Like he was a singer and he like played piano kind of, and
Mm-hmm.
but there was always like music playing or like NPR playing in the house. So
Mm-hmm.
like growing up, and then like I played in a few bands in high school, and then yeah, I just have always I felt like I think some like growing up I was pretty bad at communicating with people, and I think
Mm.
that with music I'm better at letting someone know how I feel,
Oh,
or
okay.
at least like letting myself know how I feel about a situation. So
Like, I
um,
guess communicating in what way? You just
just like I maybe just understanding my own emotions or feelings towards something,
mm,
and so if I don't know, I guess it's more like poetry. If I put it into a different type of form that's not just like so simple as like someone talking to someone else,
mm-hmm.
um, it's easier for me.
Do you feel like
So
maybe
does that make
some?
sense?
Yeah, no, it does
Okay.
make sense. I mean, I think for me, I mean, I think the way I look at it is that
Mm-hmm.
I can perform, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in performing, whether it's yeah, doing something like that, something creative, or doing this, it's much easier
Mm-hmm.
for me to be able to express myself, right? It's a
Mm-hmm.
creative way to
Yeah.
get those emotions out, versus that more intimate, just kind of face to face looking at
Yeah.
somebody, and it can be very scary
Yeah,
and
exactly. You can like
vulnerable.
close your eyes. You can like,
Yeah,
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 it's
which
just different.
so
Hmm.
is that something that you kind of you bring into your music today in a lot of the stuff that you write?
Yeah, yeah. I think a lot of it is like something I've struggled communicating with to someone, and so a lot of that is what um, my songs are. And I don't know, maybe that's not fair to some people, but I don't know.
Not fair in what
That's
sense?
just how I've always been. Like instead of saying it to their face, they have to hear it in a song. So,
I mean, if
but
there's pop stars that do that, right?
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
And that's that.
Yeah,
So
so
I
it's
mean,
okay.
you're amongst the greats, right?
Oh,
You're talent, and you are talented. I
well,
have
thanks.
followed both of your profiles, and you do have really
Thank
a great
you.
voice, great music, great presence.
Thank you.
So it's just it's always interesting to try to hear from people what what kind of inspires them to create their art, because it is an art, right? Music
Hmm.
is artistic,
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
and it's a medium to kind of express your feelings and
Mhm.
emotions. What what sort of music inspired you growing up? What kind of stuff? What was on your playlist, say, when you were 16?
When I was 16, oh my gosh, was that like, well, so you're
Is that like last? That
in,
was like last year.
yeah, I was 16 last year. Let
Just
me
kidding.
think.
You look
What,
very
so
young. Is what
that's
I'm getting
like,
at. Yeah.
oh, well, I'm not. Well, I don't know
Well, I'm
what
not.
young is. What is young? Um, let's see.
Relative. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all about your spirit. Okay, 16. I was that like yellow card times?
I don't know. How old are you?
Like,
I
I'm
don't.
29.
You're 29. Okay, so we're a
Yeah.
couple years apart. You were born in 1990.
Yeah, I'm a
Okay.
90s.
Okay. All right.
Started right there.
Right at the beginning of the decade. Okay. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
yellow card. I think I was like in
So
18. Yeah.
16. Yeah.
Yellow card was awesome
Oh
back
my
then.
gosh. So I used to so I would listen to Yellow Card and I would um, write over their lyrics. So that's like
Hmm.
how I started songwriting. I would,
Okay.
instead of like playing guitar and stuff like my own, I would just write over Yellow Card. And
Hmm.
then, yeah, and then I'd sing it to my friends. But, um,
I mean,
but
that's
then
one
I
way to do
started
it.
playing
Yeah.
guitar and I guess I already played guitar then, but I didn't, I'm not sure. That's like real when I really started. It's all because of Yellow Card.
Yellow card. So Yellow
So
card was like the band for you.
yeah, but they're like not, I don't know. I think that was just the band that I liked their instruments. And so I like, I
Yeah.
don't know. I felt like I could uh, work with them. I don't know. Yeah.
And then like moving
But,
on into college and stuff like that.
okay.
What kind of music did you listen to?
Okay. Well, okay. I also just didn't just listen to Yellow Card. I listened to a lot of Led Zeppelin when I was younger too, and like the Doors, and like I think maybe because of my dad,
Oh no, for sure.
those bands.
My dad
But Joni
inspired me.
Mitchell,
Oh yeah.
I love Joni Mitchell, and I have since I was really young. But
Hmm.
um, yeah. But since then, I started listening to a lot of like there's a band called Isley for a while that I really liked, and
Mm.
I just thought they had really interesting lyrics. And there's a band Now that I've always like just man, that band is so good.
Yeah.
And Land of Talk. Um, I like a lot of my friends' bands, and I feel like I have felt like inspired by them. Um,
So
yeah.
you have a lot of friends out there that make music as well. You
You
play.
know, I have a lot of friends in New Mexico that make music. There's
Okay.
a lot in Seattle as well, and Portland, I guess. Well, I don't know that many people in Portland, but there are so many really great bands here that, I don't know them, but I know of them. So, um,
Yeah, that's the first
yeah.
start, right? That's how where you start. Yeah,
Yeah,
you have to know who they are
exactly.
and then show up to the show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did I ask you why? So what prompted your move to the Pacific Northwest? I mean, for
Um,
one, if you're listening, you know that I love it out there, right? So
yeah, you have family here, right?
yeah, well, yeah, I have a sister in Washington. I have cousins
Oh,
in
great. Okay,
Washington
cool.
and in Oregon. So it's all over the Pacific
Yeah.
Northwest, but even before they lived out there, I've just found it personally like a very beautiful place.
Yeah.
Um,
Mhm.
so I mean, what was it for you?
So I moved. There are a few reasons, I guess. I had lived in Las Cruces for a while, and I
Mhm.
think I just kind of felt stuck there.
Mm.
Which I love Las Cruces so much. I think it's probably
Mhm.
one of the most beautiful places like on the planet.
Okay.
Um, but I also had like gone through a breakup, and I think living in Las Cruces is so small,
Hmm.
and just I think I needed to get out for my own sanity.
Yeah.
So I moved to Seattle, and I had always wanted to live in Seattle since I was little, and so I just did it.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
I decided within like a month I was gonna move, and then I did.
When you were so again, I mean, going back, we keep going further back.
Yeah,
We're gonna have
yeah.
by the end of this, we're gonna have a breakthrough, right? No, just
Yeah, let's help me.
so no, help me.
Yeah.
That's no. I can't. I'll have to charge. But
I don't know.
just
I don't have a
kidding.
job, so.
No. You're good. So I guess a big part of you said since you were little,
Mhm.
and I mean, I want my initial kind of reaction is to want to go off on a rant about the
Sure.
places we love, right? But so what was
Yeah.
it? Um, why since you were little? What was it when you were little?
Well, it was just so different. So I lived in, well, I think the first time I visited Seattle, I was like in fourth grade or something, and I went with my family.
Okay, just for the sake of
And
going?
just for the sake of going,
Okay.
I'm not, yeah, I don't actually know why we went to Seattle, but I just loved it. And it
Mm.
was,
Mm-hmm.
um, just completely different from the Southwest. And,
Yeah.
um, but like the moment I moved, I, I felt so homesick.
Mm.
Like the rain. And so I also moved in January, which like is so in the Pacific Northwest, like it's so dark during the winter and
Mm-hmm.
a little bit of the fall. So like the sun will rise at like 8 a.m. and then it sets at 4:35. And so
Mm-hmm.
like your daylight is so limited, and like it really weighs on you, and I didn't think it would.
Yeah.
But oh my gosh, it's just awful. And
So really, it really impacted you then.
yeah, and especially because I moved in January. So like I
Mm.
moved and then it was just dark and I didn't
Mm-hmm.
know that many people, and I was just
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, it was really hard.
Yeah.
Um but with that being said, like I still love it here, and I don't know, maybe Portland will feel a little different, but who knows? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I will say that the rain feels colder in Seattle.
Oh gosh, yeah, and it's just like constant, and like the rain's fine. It's just like the clouds. Yeah.
Yeah. Where's I feel like
But
there's a
some
little bit.
people are really good at it, like
Yeah,
living in
yeah.
that.
My sister who lives up there is she's a
Hmm.
total kind of she's a hermit, so she just likes being in her
Hmm.
cave at home, with
Sure.
her
Yeah.
kids and with her family. So it's like for
Hmm.
her, it's totally perfect. I
Yeah.
lived up there as well. I do
Hmm.
enjoy the rain. I've spent time
Yeah.
in the winter up there, and
Hmm.
you know what? Like a lot of people say they talk the talk, but hardly ever do they walk the walk about being
Hmm.
able to live in that kind of climate. So it takes a lot to be able to handle.
Hmm.
Do you feel like it impacts your creativity?
It probably helps me, honestly. Like the times that I'm like alone or
Mm-hmm.
like feeling a lot of intense emotions are the times that I like really hold on to like my creativity or like start to like push it. Um, so it's good for me. It's good for my art, but probably not as good for my head. but but I don't know.
I'm assuming maybe you're not one of the type of artists or musicians who feels like they need to be suffering to be able to create something beautiful.
No, not necessarily, but I guess there is like a that is um, some. I think maybe it could apply to me in some ways. So
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, you were right about breakups, right?
yeah, exactly, yeah, yeah.
Which is. I mean, I think it's common.
Hmm.
I
Oh
personally
yeah.
try to. I write my best when I'm going through heartache,
Hmm. Yeah.
right? So, and I write some of the most beautiful things I feel like I've ever written. And I feel like I see the most beautiful things, and I'm like I see the beauty and
Yeah.
the pain and the catharsis and all of that.
Yeah.
But I'm really personally like I struggle to try to figure out a way to feel that creativity when life is great, because for the most
Hmm.
part life is pretty good,
Oh
right?
yeah. Yeah.
But trying to like feel creative and all that stuff,
Hmm.
um the
My dog's.
you're good. Oh wow. So just folks, that was really loud.
Okay.
The yeah.
I'm so sorry. She
No,
has a
you're
really
fine.
loud bark, but
No,
she's very good.
what kind of pup is that?
So she's a German Shepherd Lab.
Oh, okay. I have a German
She's
Shepherd. I
very.
don't know if you heard her barking in the
Oh.
background. She's
Oh, I
just
did. Yeah.
chilling outside right now.
She
So
is.
we got two dogs barking.
Yeah, they're saying hi to each other.
And but yeah, I mean I think it's I mean I forget what I was going with that, but I think art's a beautiful thing. Oh, I was going to say the
Mhm.
irony is that when I'm doing this creative stuff because I'm sad,
Mhm.
I end up feeling really good. So it's a
Exactly.
way to pull
Yeah.
me out. So it almost feels like counterintuitive to be in a good place
Mhm.
and want to do that because I'm already there.
Yeah,
And so
yeah,
for
exactly.
me, it's a personal way to feel better, to pull myself
Right.
out of like a dark
Hmm.
place.
Yeah.
Do you struggle with that in a way?
I feel like I'm pretty similar to you in that then. Like I use it
Mm-hmm.
as a way to kind of pull me out. And like I don't even realize I'm doing it, but like just having like
Mm-hmm.
something to like hold on to or like show for like maybe like or like validate your feelings.
Yeah. So do
I'm
you
not
consider
sure.
yourself an artist?
Yeah, yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay, okay. And so what are your next steps? Like, I mean, I guess what do you hope to do and accomplish long term with music and with
So
your art?
I don't have I feel like a lot of times like I get in this pretty weird headspace of like with my music, like
Mm-hmm.
I love playing music and I think it's something I'll always do, but I also think that there's other musicians out there that like maybe deserve it more than I do, or like
Mm,
um like I want them to have it, or like not that I would get it or anything, but like
mm,
I think that they deserve to be listened to more. Just
hmm.
um, I don't know. And so like I'll always play, but like as far as like pushing it to like the next level, I don't know if I'll ever do that. Um, and that's something I think I've always struggled with,
What do
which
you think?
maybe
What do you think that is? I guess.
I don't know, like um, maybe not feeling like that I'm like I don't know how to explain it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just think that other people maybe have like yeah, like they deserve it more. I guess that's what it boils
Huh.
down to.
Like
But
an imposter syndrome? You think?
I don't know. I'm not sure. But like
Let's
uh,
psychoanalyze you, right?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
how does that make you
Yeah.
feel? Just kidding.
So yeah, yeah. Well, I don't know. I think it's been hard, like with people that I've played with in the past.
Sure.
Like it when I'm in a band, I think
Mm-hmm.
they get pretty frustrated because I can be like a little bit more like, well, if we don't get that show, it's okay. Which
Oh,
I
okay.
don't know. I guess it's yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I wish. I don't know. This is how. This is how I
This is
am.
no, which is fine. If it sounds like
Yeah.
maybe it's a constant kind of inner kind of talk, and
Yeah.
which is fine.
Yeah.
I think, not that you need me to kind of tout you as just this amazing person or anything, but like you are definitely very talented.
Well, thank you.
So I think it's something that I always is like I'm glad that I'm doing this Zoom thing and that you're the
Hmm.
first person I interview on here. But it's just kind of one of those things where like I reached out to you because I feel like you are talented. You have
Oh, well, thank
this
you.
variety of different things that you do.
Mhm.
And then I mean I think you inspire people, and then you have a lot to offer the world, right? So um I don't in any way think that my words are gonna change or all of a sudden make you click.
Well, it means a lot to me knowing that,
Yeah.
if you feel that way, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know, we'll see.
Yeah, yeah. I
Hmm.
know. I mean, you keep doing what you're doing. Obviously, it's working, right?
Thanks.
And it's at the end of the day, it just what it comes down to is you feeling like you're doing something creative and it's for you, right? And I
Hmm.
think a lot of the time when you're doing this sort of art, like me with this is my creative outlet, right? Interviewing people and
Hmm.
talking to different
Yeah.
people and producing things.
Hmm.
And as cool as it is and fun as it is to get to know really cool and creative people, I do it because I enjoy it.
Yeah.
Right, and it makes me happy
Yeah.
and I feel good. The byproduct of that is a way of creative expression or something for people to listen to,
Hmm.
or something for people to relate to, because people will listen to the
Yeah.
conversations and feel like they got something out of it, and I think that's really awesome.
Hmm.
Just as people get something out of your music or your art, um, and it comes across right because I'm enjoying myself, I'm having a good time, and people will follow and listen, and I get that feedback. So I guess as long as you're having a good time and enjoying yourself,
Yeah.
right, and feel like you're doing something beautiful, that's all that really matters.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And I do, and I do. And I think that's part of like what I was saying is like I'll always play music because I
Mm-hmm.
think it's
Mm-hmm.
a way that I can always find a way to relate to people, and then also just feel normal,
What is
or
normal to you?
understood, or like understood.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, what
Right
is
on.
normal though?
So
Yeah.
somebody, if you're singing a song and somebody thinks it's about them, it probably is.
Yeah, probably.
Got it. Got it. I got it. Okay. So, I mean, are you playing shows often? I mean, yeah.
Let's see. I did well in Las Cruces. I played all the time.
Oh, okay.
Just because the scene there was like it was small, but it was so good, and we had bands come through all the time. Like especially during South by Southwest, because like driving from
Mm-hmm.
LA
Mm-hmm.
to
Mm-hmm.
Austin, like just
Yeah.
bands would come through. So
Yeah.
I played a lot there. I played a lot, not a lot in Seattle. I probably played like 6 times maybe
Mm-hmm.
in Seattle, which in that span of 2 years is not that much. But
Okay.
and then here in Portland, who knows? Like all the shows have been canceled, unfortunately. But
Right.
yeah, I want to play in Portland, and yeah, we'll see how that goes. But if not, I love just creating music and like putting it out online.
Yeah, you
Um,
have a band camp, correct?
yeah, I do.
What's it?
So
So where can people find your stuff?
So they can find it on Bandcamp. It's just my name, KT Neely, which is Neely, and then .bandcamp.com. And then one day I'll probably put stuff on Spotify. I just haven't done it. So
Do you have, I mean, how much content do you have? How many songs do you have recorded?
oh, who knows? I don't know. I have a lot, but
Really?
yeah,
Okay.
and then I have more that I'm going to be putting out this year. Um, I'm just waiting for a friend to put he wants to redo his vocals or something like that. So
Something weird. I don't know.
yeah, how weird. Yeah. But I'll put those out later this year.
Mm.
And then yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I mean, make sure to, I mean, share something with me. That way I can
Mm-hmm.
also edit it in even.
Oh, cool. Yeah, totally.
Unless I could put you on the spot and you can play something for us now.
Oh my gosh, I don't know where my well, I
Okay.
know where my guitar is, but
I don't know where it is. That's weird.
I don't know. Yeah.
No, you're fine. No worry. Yeah, send me something. I think people really respond
Cool.
very well to music, and I think
Mm-hmm.
I want to share. I want to share your sound and your music with
Well,
people.
thank
So
you.
let me help you with that. How are you? I guess that kind of starting to wrap up. We'll keep
Mm-hmm.
the Zoom ones shorter, but how are you kind of dealing with all of this in the state of the world?
Well, I'm just kind of taking it day by day.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
know, I I have pretty bad anxiety, but I've luckily been able to kind of like um, kind of keep my head in check,
Yeah.
just keeping things into perspective, or like reminding myself that um, we're like all in it together,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
like I'm just staying inside, doing what I can. I talk to my family a lot on the phone.
Nice.
Yeah, I watch the news a little too much or listen to it too much, but
Mm-hmm.
um, I don't know. I think it's important to stay informed,
Yeah.
but also like I'm going to keep doing the things that I like to do. So I'm still drawing and making time, like using this time to like really push things that I like to do. Like I'm spending time with my dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, talking to people I haven't talked to in a long time on the phone,
Have you
and
found it just kind of as an opportunity? I mean, I think I'm feeling this, so maybe I'm projecting a little bit, but
mhm.
it's been an opportunity for me to kind of, the FOMO is gone, right? The fear of missing out is gone because because everyone else is stuck at home too. So,
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah,
so
maybe that, but Yeah, also like just seeing how like good people can be to each other. Like I have a friend who she's a single mom of two, and one of her neighbors just like dropped off like
Mm-hmm.
a whole box of like groceries for her and
Hmm.
like just left it at her doorstep. And like people, I think, there's stories of like people, like
Yeah.
stealing from other people's carts and stuff in supermarkets, but I
Really?
don't
I
know.
didn't know that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's a few of those. But I
Mm.
think for the most part people are just like really showing like that they're good and that they
Yeah. Yeah.
they can love people that they don't know. And
It's
um
just I find people, myself included,
mhm.
reconnecting with themselves, like reconnecting with others, right?
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
I have kids, right? So
Mhm.
I'm I'm having to homeschool them to an extent, which is very
Yeah.
interesting, and working from home and doing that kind of stuff. And
Mhm.
I find myself taking time to talk to them and then asking
Yeah.
them about what they're reading.
Mhm. How
Uh,
old are they?
10 and 8, right?
Oh, that's so
So
good.
they're fun
Mhm.
ages right now. So they're getting up there, and they're good kids. And we went on. They played on a trampoline outside. We went on
Mhm.
a long hour walk yesterday, but down
Mhm.
like in Albuquerque's North Valley. So there's a lot of like
Oh,
irrigation
how
ditches.
beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. So we just kind of and we see other families doing the same thing.
Mhm.
So it's just, and it
Yeah.
reminds me of the time I spent with my family, just kind of walking. And we
Yeah.
only really did it a handful of times growing up, but for some reason those memories stick out,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they're ingrained in me, even though it wasn't
Mhm.
that many times that we did it as when I was a child. Those memories are the ones that I think of the most when
Mhm.
I think of family
It's because
times.
whenever you're spending the most time with them,
Right,
and
right.
like,
So I'm thinking forward, right? I'm thinking,
yeah.
are these this is the time. It's not the things that I got them, it's not the, the places that we went. It's like going on walks with my dad. That's what they're going to
Mhm.
think of when they're older.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
kind of neat because it's giving me the time and the clarity, to be able to do that. And
Mhm.
it's such a it's weird that it's had to come to this
Yeah.
to be able to kind
Yeah,
of
it is.
reset, right?
Yeah.
But I'm grateful. I don't know about
Yeah.
you.
Oh, definitely. It's funny because like I'll take my dog for a walk, and in Las Cruces and Albuquerque, I feel like a lot of people, you walk by them and they say hi to you, like, and if you
Mhm.
don't, then it's like it's really weird, you know?
Awkward, right? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Like you always acknowledge each other,
Hmm.
when I moved, I thought like in Seattle, like you would walk by someone and they wouldn't look at you, like they would just keep their head down, and I thought it was, and I would be like hi, and then they would look at me like, why
You're
are you talking to
weird.
me? But yeah, yeah. But here, I think since this has happened, like you walk by someone and they look at you, like, and it's because like I think they're just like, I know what you're going through, you know what I'm going through,
Mm,
like
we're in
I
this
don't know, it's just
together.
this like different thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
and maybe I'm like making it up in my head or something, but like I feel like that's what's happening when I walk by someone and now.
I don't think you're making it up. I think there is definitely just like hi,
Hmm.
because we are kind of
Just
secluded, so
acknowledging,
yeah,
yeah.
we have to keep like a distance, a
Oh yeah,
physical
the 6 feet.
distance,
Yeah,
right? You got to
yeah,
keep the 6 feet,
yeah,
but
totally.
there is a shift, and just
Hmm.
like the interactions are more intentional. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah,
It's
definitely.
less superficial. It's be like,
Hmm.
hello, like you're probably going to be one of my few adult human interactions today.
That I see today. Yes,
Right,
exactly. Yeah,
right. Like
yeah.
like, and
Thank
even you,
you.
right? Like
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
today is like my longest conversation with anybody that I'm gonna have.
Hmm. Yeah.
That is not my children. So
Hmm.
or if I go on a walk maybe later, that I'll have like micro interactions, but they'll be more intentional, more intimate,
Hmm.
and less superficial. It's because you're
Hmm.
cutting a lot of that superficial small talk out, I guess.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah. That is true.
So it's for me, and I love more intentional, more in-depth conversation like this,
Hmm.
right? That's why I
Yeah.
podcast, because
Hmm.
it allows me to do that. Whereas like the small
Hmm.
talk, it gets me by, but
Hmm.
it doesn't feel real.
Yeah, well, and
So
you don't remember it, like you said, with like the walking, like with your family,
yeah, yeah.
like, you remember those. moments whenever it's like a little bit more
Mm-hmm.
like just deeper.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So again, can people follow you on
Mhm.
Instagram?
Yeah, of course.
What are you have two handles, I think.
So I have two handles. I wanted it to be a little bit separate, but I don't know if I'm doing a good job of that. So my art, and like, yeah, so my art, just my illustrations are my name, just kt.neely. And then my other one is for my music, which is Girl Goyle. So it's underscore and then Girl Goyle, like a gargoyle, but you're a girl. So
That's cute.
thank you.
And awesome. So just quick question is, I
Uh-huh.
mean, your name's Katie, or is it
Yeah,
just KT?
it's Katie. I
But
just spell it with KT.
your handle is the literal letters KT, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
And
Just so
that's how
people
I'll
know.
spell it on things, but
Okay,
I I used to spell it with an IE. I don't know. I don't know who I am. So
trust me, you're not alone. I'm trying to figure out,
yeah.
I'm 31 and I feel like I'm always trying to learn.
30
I'm always
fun.
learning more. 30 fun,
That's
31.
right.
Hey, that's nice. When's your birthday?
October 27th. I'm a Scorpio.
I was gonna say, oh no,
Yeah,
just kidding.
but I don't identify with it,
Are
but
you more
whatever.
are you more of a Virgo, do you think?
No, I'm
Or a Libra, I mean?
I'm an Aquarius. Like my
Really?
heart, that's, yeah,
I'm an Aquarius.
but the
You know what I love?
stars have spoken, so I guess I'm a Scorpio.
Do you know your like moon and like
I
rising?
have like that co-star app on my phone
Yeah.
that like tells you everything, but I don't I don't look at it often. But it
Okay.
does say that I'm an Aquarius rising, or and my moon sign is an Aquarius. So
So you're Aquarius. So I guess so. Just real quick,
uh,
I think that means that like in your home and in your inner personalities, you're Aquarius, but on the outside, you're a Scorpio.
oh gosh, yeah.
To like the world, you're a Scorpio, which is
Yeah, which means I'm tough. Hmm.
that's. I wish people could see your like the middle mannerisms. Good. Okay. This was fun. So much fun getting to meet you.
Yeah,
So
thank
thank you
you
for
so
coming
much.
on. I hope we get to do this again.
Yeah,
Everyone,
definitely.
if you're listening, follow, support her. You're selling art, I'm assuming still.
Yeah. I don't
Yeah.
have a job right now,
So get on
so
it. Get on it,
yeah, I'll
people.
draw anything for anyone
With your left hand.
with my left hand.
And
Yeah.
it's great. It's great art. I'm going to tell you right now, peeps. So if you're
Oh.
listening, make sure to follow Katie and listen and support her in her endeavors, especially during these difficult times.
Yeah.
Again, thank you so much for coming on. I'm
Well,
going to stop
thank
the
you so much.
recording
Okay, cool.
real quick. Just one
All
second. Bye, guys.
right.